Vince Carter became the most popular figure in all of basketball. It was the 2000 All-Star Weekend in Oakland, California. When it came down to the dunk contest, he gave us the single greatest performance we've ever seen. After this dunk, he was right. It was over. The NBA world was now at the palm of his hands. After that All-Star Weekend, the electricity that he brought to the games can only be compared to a handful of players. Whenever he was alone in the fast break, everybody in the arena would rise as one to brace themselves for what he was about to do. From there, the expectations kept growing and growing. We expected him to do something amazing every game and to top it all off the next day. What's even crazier is that he did exactly that. This is what the Vinsanity era was all about. A couple of weeks after that glorious weekend, he was out to prove his doubters wrong. At the time, no one could deny his God-given ability, but some believed he was lacking in other areas. That includes his shooting abilities. In the simplest terms, they were saying that all he could do was dunk. He proved that there was much more to his game against the Phoenix Suns. This was the first nationally televised game for the Toronto Raptors. In the previous week, the NBA changed its schedule to add the Raptors so the world could see what the hype was all about. He saw a golden opportunity in front of him. He responded by posting his first 50-point game of his career. He had 51 points to go along with 9 rebounds, 3 steals, and 1 assist. Now check out the shooting numbers he recorded. He went 53% from the field, 4 of 8 from the 3, and a perfect 13 of 13 from the free throw line. When you watch the game, you'll quickly realize that nearly all the shots he took were contested. I must remind you that the teams of this era were not super concerned with efficiency. There was a lot more creativity and freedom with the perimeter scorers. And Vince proved that he could create his shot with the best of them. Something that I also noticed was that the play-by-play announcers were drawing a lot of comparisons between him and Michael Jordan. At the time, this was warranted. His athleticism and the attention he was drawing from the public were very similar to his airness. But there was more to Michael Jordan than the dunks and marketing ability, as we all know. Could you also lead your team to victory? Could you deliver in the clutch, time and time again? 2 games after his career-high performance, he had a chance to prove himself again. This came against the Boston Celtics. This was an exciting back-and-forth battle. Both teams traded leads 13 times in the final 4 minutes of the game. With 3 seconds left, Vince saw another golden opportunity to prove he was worth all the hype. He did that and more after making this incredibly tough 3-pointer at the buzzer. The confidence he had in himself to take that kind of shot proves that he had all the right stuff. After the game, Tracy McGrady said this about his teammate/cousin. After seeing the 51-point performance against Phoenix, nothing's going to surprise me about him. Nothing. Hold that thought, T-Mac. Remember, the question was asked if he could deliver time and time again. Was the Celtics game just a fluke? 4 games later, he proved that it wasn't. This time, it was against the Los Angeles Clippers. How do we know that this video isn't a classic case of revisionist history? Was Vince Carter really that big during this time? To know for sure, you must pass the road test. In other words, can you turn a whole arena to go against a home team and cheer for you? That's what he did after slamming down this insane one-handed alley-oop. The momentum shifted completely on his side, and everyone knew it. That was huge when the Raptors were trying to come back from a double-digit deficit that late in the game. Even the Clippers' play-by-play announcers were offended by the turn of events.
The fans got what they wanted. Okay, have your cheers, enjoy it, get it out of your system.
Whether they liked it or not, they couldn't stop what was about to happen. In the final minute, he made this shot over Lamar Odom to tie the game. Then with 1 second left, the Raptors found themselves in a familiar situation. As what happened with the Celtics, they were down by 2 points. Once again, Vince wasn't looking to play another 5 minutes. He made yet another buzzer-beating 3-pointer. As the replay showed, the crowd was cheering with joy. It was almost like the Raptors were playing a home game. If you frequent live sporting events, you know how hard it is for a road team to accomplish this, no matter how bad your team is. Only the biggest of stars can have that kind of effect. At the peak of Vinsanity, he also brought that kind of buzz to any sports arena. 5 games after the Clippers' game winner, he added another clutch moment. He wanted to strike fear in his opponents in crunch time, and there's no question that they needed to respect him after what he did to the Houston Rockets. Poor Steve Francis had to be up by Vince one last time. He scored 11 of the team's final 13 points. With 32 seconds left, he made this three-pointer that's reminiscent of the Kawhi shot the Raptor fans remember very well. With 10 seconds left, Vince is holding the ball, contemplating what to do. This play shows how incredibly quick he was. Hakeem was right under the basket. Vince was just stepping out of the three-point area, and yet Hakeem still didn't have enough time to make a contest. I don't blame him for not wanting to be part of a poster dunk. That all happened within a 1-month span. His popularity grew even further, and it wasn't just because of a dunk contest. This stretch of games helped him become one of the most recognizable players, even to a generation of fans that never got to see him play as a member of the Toronto Raptors. We all got to witness him become much more than just the greatest slam dunk champion. He was an incredibly skilled offensive player who was also not afraid of the moment. The only problem is that when a player has that much hype, the detractors try to make their criticism as loud as all the love they're receiving. So for reasons that are beyond me, he was selected to the All-NBA third team and finished 10th in MVP voting. He was barely considered a top 10 player. I think he deserved a little more love. Here's what the numbers tell us. He finished 4th in scoring, 4th in offensive win shares, 4th in offensive box plus minus, 5th in value over replacement player rating, 7th in win shares, 9th in box plus minus, and 10th in PER. Did the analysts have access to all these metrics? They did not. But here's what they did know. The Raptors finished with a 46 win percentage the previous year, and they improved to a 55 win percentage. He was a reason why they had their first winning season and playoff appearance in franchise history. He accomplished all of this in only his second season. How many players can say that they had the NBA world in the palm of their hands that quickly in their careers? If only you were there to witness the Vinsanity era. It's what drove him to finish first in All-Star voting in 4 of the first 5 years of the 2000s, and it's what eventually drove him to have a Hall of Fame career. But what about you all? What do you remember the most from the 1999/2000 season from Vince Carter? What is your favorite memory from Air Canada? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.